Ladies and gentlemen, there's an escalation over the trade war with US and China and with the rest of the world as well. And I think everybody should be cognizant of this happening. It's very serious. So please watch to the end to get the full briefing. And more importantly, what I think my take is for this whole escalation. So this is a breaking news that the trade war is escalating in a major way. So everybody be warned. Now, if there's a major crash, I certainly will take advantage of it and brief everybody about it as well. This thing is developing. So remember, hit subscribe to be informed real time and always hit the like to help me with the YouTube algorithm. Let's watch on, shall we? These are my usual disclaimers. These are not financial advice, not telling you buy or sell. And let's go. So US Treasury Secretary actually said and issued a warning that, they will issue maximum tariff on trade partners that do not negotiate with US. So rates will jump to the highest level set on Liberation Day for countries that do not negotiate in good faith with US. Now, that's a very strong threat that is given, and usually by Scott Besson is usually quite mild. He tried to play the good cop, and Trump is always the bad cop. But right now, we have the reverse turn, because Trump that day actually said that, we'll be fair. Suddenly, his assistant, which is Scott Besson, now said that, we will not be giving you a good time if you don't negotiate with us. So this is quite surprising and shocking, right? So the US said that it will impose the maximum tariff, yes, threatened against countries who do not negotiate in good faith, as it strikes a more aggressive tone in trade talks. Now, clearly, some countries are not negotiating in good faith, trying to play hardball, trying to lowball the US, trying to play a very tough negotiator, and things like that. So basically, he had enough. He basically says that, we will impose the maximum tariff if you, KL with us, you know what's KL, right? It's a Hokkien word, okay? So Treasury Secretary Scott Besson on Sunday said that tariff rates will go back to levels that President Donald Trump announced on April the 2nd, when he declared his intention to liberate the US from an unfair trade system. Countries would receive letters from Besson outlining those maximum tariff if they are not negotiating in good faith. So Treasury Secretary told NBC. So clearly, he's going after countries that are playing hardball with US. Now, countries like Singapore, I don't think we can negotiate much, but at least we play ball, right? So I think we're just gonna 10%. Now, 10%, I think is the lowest tier you can get really. But other countries, who try to strike a hard bargain with US, they will kena this highest maximum tariff, right? So this is a major escalation, given that we thought that they will lower their rates for everybody. Now, in the unusual turn of event, unprovoked by anything, China suddenly slapped on a heavy 75% tax on US import of vital engineering plastic. And to be fair, this levy, which also hit firms from EU, Japan, and Taiwan, despite a 90 days truce in the trade war between the two countries. So what is this? China will impose a 75% anti-dumping tax on American imports of an important engineering plastic, a move that underscores the ongoing trade tension between the two countries. The levies on formaldehyde copolymers, wow, this is quite cheap, right? I don't know what is this, were made in the wake of a 90-day tariff truce between US and China, which reduced most tariff, but the imposition of these duties signals the possibility of further escalation. So not only did US, have some escalatory measures, now China also suddenly slapped on a 75% tax, which make you wonder, why would they do that in this kind of ceasefire, high tension time, right? You seek to de-escalate, but China suddenly slapped a 75% tariff. Maybe the negotiation is now not going a good way. So if I connect A and B together, maybe the trade talks between Scott Besson and the Chinese vice premier, although started a good foot, now progress not in a very good foot. So things are happening in a bad way. So let's watch on this space. So this is developing news. I'll try to keep everybody informed real time. Do not take escalation too lightly, because I think that things can turn suddenly volatile, and we could have missed opportunities, right? Given how sharp all these V's and W shape corrections are. So Beijing said this: China has imposed anti-dumping duties of 74, up to 74.9% on imports of widely used plastic from US, EU, Taiwan, Japan, said its Commerce Ministry. So it's not targeted at Japan per se, sorry, not targeted at US per se, but all across the whole world. The duties came in effect on Monday, target imports of this particular substance, a thermoplastic commonly used in the manufacture of automotive component, medical equipment, and household appliances. It ranges from 3.8% to 74.9%. So to be fair, it's not 75%. It's a range, right? It can go as low as 3.8%, So depending on the origin and manufacturers. So the move follows the conclusion of an anti-dumping investigation launched by Beijing, which alleged that 4 regions were selling the plastic in the Chinese market at unfairly low price, harming domestic producers. So it's an anti-dumping measure. But, in this kind of time, you impose kind of thing, it sends shockwaves, right? You want to de-escalate. No, I think sometimes why we do it. So I think it's probably triggered by something. So in a weekend event, which I probably already announced, Walmart actually came out and said that, I have no choice. At some point of time, somewhere in May, I really have to increase prices because the tariffs that imposed on Chinese goods are coming is just too high. So, this explicit statement is a signpost for how the trade war is affecting companies, as Walmart is noted for its ability to manage costs more aggressively than the other companies to keep prices low. So this is a first sign that Trump is absolutely BSing. Trump said that it's the other countries that are bearing the tariff. No, it is US companies and US shoppers that are bearing the tariff. So Walmart clearly said that, no, I cannot tahan. The tariff is too high. I got to increase price. So in a briefing to investors, Walmart CFO John David Rainley said in a CNBC interview that US shoppers will see prices rise by the end of May and certainly in June. And a post-call earnings with analysts, he said that the retailers would also have to cut back on orders as it considers price elasticity. That means that when the price goes up, the demand will go down, so you could order less. That's a price elasticity. So as the major importer of container goods in US, Walmart is heavily exposed to tariffs, and even though US and China has reached a truce that lowered tariffs for imports of Chinese goods to 30%, 30% is still very high, right? So 30% can kill. So they say that, I appreciate Trump with all this ambition everybody's doing to bring the tariffs down, but let me emphasize that 30% is still too high. Okay, so basically, say I bopian, I have to, no choice, I have to increase the prices. Well, meanwhile, then tariff guru called Donald Trump saw Walmart do that. You know what he says? He told Walmart, eat the tariffs instead of raising price. That's quite interesting, right? So eat the tariffs. So President Donald Trump said on Saturday that Walmart should eat the tariffs. 驾, gaga 可以驾, 驾好一戏, the kind of thing. So I actually didn't know that Donald Trump knows Hokkien, right? At least understand Hokkien at the cursory level. Because I normally say you jia, this kind of thing is normally a Hokkien thing. I actually didn't know English got this phrase as well. So Walmart should eat the tariffs instead of blaming duties imposed by its administration on imported goods for the retailers' increased price. Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the main reason for raising prices throughout the chain. Walmart made billions of dollars last year, far more than expected, Trump said in the social media post. Well, so things are happening on all this major escalation happening. Donald Trump is trying to do all he can to manage some of this expectation. But meanwhile, another bad news that happened on the weekend, I briefed about it, but today we have got some response to it. So Moody's credit agency has downgraded US government as
as no longer as AAA but AA plus. So it's a downgrade. It's a downgrade. Frankly speaking, as I said, the market, I don't think will react badly because of this. It will react badly because of other things. But it certainly will hurt the credibility of the U.S. government. So an article actually said this: America survived Moody's downgrade, but its credibility may not. So Moody credit agency have issued a negative outlook. Okay, but bonds yield stay put, the stock struts, and the dollar stay firm. So nothing much happened, right? It isn't about US defaulting. The defaulting isn't due to the fact that that the US government is making a interest payment failure, but it's about credibility issue. Okay, so if you lose credibility, then things will turn bad. Well, Scott Besson then said that, hey, Moody is a lagging indicator. Everybody already know this already. You now then do it. You're lagging together. So you're too slow in this. I think that's what everybody thinks of credit agency, and he sought to pin the blame on former President Joe Biden. It's Biden administration and the spending that we have seen over the past 4 years. And we are determined to bring the spending down and grow the economy. So directionally, they trying to cut some of this wastage in government agency is the right move. But I think it's too little, too late. So incidentally, Joe Biden just announced that he's got prostate cancer. That's something that hit a lot of men. It's quite worrying for me because I do have enlarged prostate, and that's a medical issue that I'll have to deal with, separately. So tonight there is a live stream. Remember yesterday's video? I actually said that there is a ex-colleague that suddenly felt dizzy and vomited, and in a few days he passed away. And that was quite sudden, and he's quite young, just slightly above my age and things like that. I had the opportunity to invite a physician on, and I think he is he's quite sure what has happened to the person, and he would like to talk about it tonight. And when I heard his explanation, I realized, wow, this thing can hit anybody. So if you would like to improve your knowledge about things like that, and also figure out how I got my my back injury and my hip injury recovered, please join us tonight at 8:30. So what's my take on the current situation? Number one is, if there are people who tell you the bad days are over, the stock market will only rise, will never fall, and things like that, the good days are forever, don't believe them, right? They are smoking weed or something like that. Clearly, we have a major escalation. It may not crash, okay, but certainly things will get volatile and crashy. Okay, I use it crashy, not crash. Means that there's always a feeling that you will crash terribly and things like that. But I don't think there'll be a major correction, okay, in a big way. That's largely because I think Trump has the power to reverse the correction. He just need to tell everybody, buy now, right? Now, he has the power to change rules to ensure the market have a reversal. So, and he's clearly very market sensitive. So I don't think that he will ignore the market, and let the market just slide and slide and slide. No, he doesn't look like the kind of person. So I would just stay put in the market and ride it through. It's not going to be comfortable when the market goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. I understand. But the S&P 500 has survived, 100 years of even worse kind of macroeconomic environment. And I think if you survive 100 years, I think you will survive this time as well. So I would just say stay put in the market for myself, emphasize for myself, and just ride it through, right? So I'll be watching all these macroeconomic signals very, very closely, inform everybody real time. And a lot of times when I go deep into stocks, especially firing shots, and I will delete those live stream. So make sure you hit subscribe so that you do not miss those live stream. The situation clearly is uncertain and volatile. Breaking news will come out. So keep in touch with me, okay? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tonight.